Good morning, my friends. Today I am going to use the newest little mini by Natasha Denona, the Mini Gloom palette. It has this murky kind of greeny color story. I'm not sure I'm going to use this little guy actually. I find that one a bit odd to put in this color combination. I would have much preferred to have a matte pink. But I will try to use all of them. So I think this one might end up underneath my eyes or something like that. I've just cleaned my face, hence the redness, and I'm going to start off using the Say, as always. Always used to say, well, especially now when it's a bit dry and my skin feels a bit dehydrated, because it gives me a little bit of a glow that I really appreciate and enjoy at the moment. I am also going to use the Superstay by Maybelline. This is the Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation and I'm in C20. Today I am, however, going to use it with a brush instead of a sponge, so we can see if there's a difference in application. This is a fairly high coverage, at least for me. I wouldn't say it's a high coverage, but it's probably listed as a medium coverage. And you can shear it out, which I try to do, because I don't like it when it's too high coverage. Unless I'm doing like being on TV, then I can have high coverage. But for everyday use, I don't want that much coverage. That's why I'm using the Say Beneath. And yesterday I used, when I want to use this on its own, I used a wet sponge. I always prefer to use brushes or my fingers, but when I'm filming, I need to go and wash my fingers straight after I've used them. It's okay with the Say, but if I use foundation, I really don't like having grubby hands. It's one of my pet peeves. I wash my hands a lot. So normally if it was just me, I would probably use my hands and then go and wash them straight after. But since I don't know how to edit my videos, I'm not going to do that, because then I will have to leave you for 30 seconds and that won't be, it will be an even longer video. I'm trying to speed things up as much as I can, but I'm pretty slow, which is fine. I'm just going to take a Q-tip on my little nose piercing because it looks disgusting when it has foundation on. There we go. The shine is back. I am then, of course, going to use my true and trusted friend, Urban Decay Primer Potion. I know you must be getting sick watching me do this, but that's the way I do it. And I actually never ever put on eyeshadow. Well, never ever is a strong word, but I almost never use eyeshadows without a primer, because I mean, it lasts longer, it sits better. Unless it's a cream eyeshadow or a liquid eyeshadow, then I use it without, but sometimes I use it with also. All right, so we will start using the green one. And this is again quite a dark color for using as a transition on me. So this will be interesting. Oh, I have a little hair. I was a bit worried that this one might look too gray leaning on me, but it actually, since everything flips a bit yellow on me, it looks more olive on me. Because first when I saw it, I thought, no, this is just going to look muddy and grey. But it actually doesn't. I really like this eyeshadow. Of course, as you know, I've told you before, I really enjoy the combination of pink and green. I find that combination glorious. Makes me happy. But I would have preferred to remove the dark green, because that one is more of a like teal color. I don't think it goes really well with the rest of the palette. I always struggle with how to use that one. If you compare it to Natasha Denona's Metropolis palette, which has a lot of teals and bright yellows and murky like browns and dark blues, it kind of makes sense in that sort of setting, because it does pair up really well with the yellows. But to me, this just doesn't fit. So it's a very weird sort of combination to me, I would say. I'm sure somebody thinks it makes perfect sense. It's just, I'm struggling a bit with it. If my voice is a bit fumbly, I just took my allergy medication. I'm on a allergy vaccination scheme, and it sort of makes my tongue swell a bit for an hour or two. So if I sound a bit weird, it's because I don't have really all the movement in my tongue right now. I try to do the allergy vaccination thing after I film, but today I did it before. Stupid of me. But you live and you learn. Feels like one eye is getting slightly darker than the other. We'll see. I am going to try and use all the colors again, because that's the whole point. I have missed some of the darkest colors, I think, in a few of the palettes, but I am going to try. I am then going to use this little guy all over my lid, this one in the inner corner. I'm going to use this one below, at least up here, and then I think I'm going to go in with the green at the end, and then I'm going to try and use this one as a liner and like at the outer edges. So I'm firstly using my same brush, going into this little guy. This is also a quite cool leaning green. It's a beautiful color, but I just don't really understand it together with the olive, because that's a very warm leaning color. It's very yellow. It does look beautiful. I don't have the same issue as I do with the other one, but this palette is not like 100% understandable to me. But maybe I'm just not that creative. Could be. I do have another one, one of the big 5 pans. These, sorry, a couple of them fell down. These ones are not available anymore. They were the first 5 pans to come out, and this is one of my absolute favorite ones. It has these beautiful taupey colors, and then it has this sort of like green leaning khaki color. Absolutely love this one. The most similar one I have to that is the Mini Gold, and I'm not sure if the Mini Gold actually is available anymore. Looks like that. I adore this one, but this one is so good. Love this one. And if you compare the Mini Gold to the Mini Gloom. I mean, you do have a green, but it's not the same kind of green. But this one is much more cohesive to me. When I see it, I just completely see straight away what kind of look I'm going to be doing. This one I kind of have to think, which I'm not always fond of doing, obviously, in the morning. But these two mix as well. I mean, it's a nice color combination. I'm then going in with the darkest shade, this one. Oh, sorry, my light died. I hope that's okay. I'm using this as a liner. But this dark color is really nice. It does have slightly, it's brown absolutely, but it does have a slightly green leaning shade to it. Oh, just gonna flick off some fallout. There we go. So there we go. We have some liner. I'm going to place a little bit on the lower lash line as well, just at the outer corner to connect them. This eye is always much more troublesome. I don't know if I have a bigger eye bag, but it tends to fall down further down on that side. There we go. I'm then using the same brush, I'm just wiping it off. I am going to go in with this little guy underneath. Perhaps I should have wet that one, but I didn't. Is that all right? I have used this one as a top liner, but I haven't used it with the olive green. I just used it with the darkest brown and the light sort of. I've used these three together then, and I've used these two separately, and that's a beautiful look as well. But the whole point now is I'm going to use all the shades, and this is the easiest approachable way for me to use this palette. I am then going to go in with the pink using a small BH Cosmetics brush. I really should invest in some new brushes that you all can buy and use. That's on my need to do list. I have been wanting to try the BK brushes. I haven't tried those. They look nice, and the Refer brushes also look really nice. I don't know. I don't remember if it's Refer or if it is BK that has like a bundle that you can buy, and you can actually get a discount if you promise to give them a review. That's quite smart of them. If they believe in their product that much, that they know that they're most certainly are going to get a good review. It's quite cheap PR thing instead of paying for PR. Just wiped off my brush using the pink one. The pink one is too dark for me, really, to use in the inner corners. It doesn't look like a highlighter much, as you will probably see. But it's fine, it works. Normally this would be more of a lid color on me. It's sort of the same color, slightly darker than my skin tone. So if I want to add a little bit of brightness, which I do, I am going to go into my Mini Xenon. The white one in this is one of my absolute best. I'm super happy also to have the, see, just a little bit of white makes all the difference. I am super happy that the new Cool Sculpt also has a very light white shade. Actually, I haven't compared the two. I'm going to do that. I'm going to compare the white ones in these. They look quite similar, and I'm going to need my glasses to see what it's written on the back. They are called Fair Cool and Puff, so they shouldn't be the same, but we'll find out. It actually is a slight difference. I don't know if you can tell. I'm going to put them on my... Yeah, it is slightly more bright, the one in the Xenon. This one has more of a beige tone. This one is actually more of a true white. But I mean, the lightest one in the Cool Sculpt is absolutely bright enough or light enough for me to use as an inner corner, which is all I use them for, really, apart from blending out other shadows. So that is good. So I'm then taking a little bit on the same brush of the pink. I'm just going to pull it close to the tear duct. There we go. And that is it for... No, actually I am going to use a little bit more on this brush of the green, just to get it below. I need to be a bit careful because this is a slightly large brush for this, but just to get a little bit of shading underneath. So I'm just making a very, very light little tap like that. This is the, sorry guys, this is the eye where everything tends to go wrong. There we go. So we have a slightly more greenish look. And I am going to use, what am I going to use in my waterline? I wonder. I'm thinking the olive. Yep. I'm using my green. I think this is, yeah, olive. The Natasha Denona, no, sorry, Victoria Beckham Beauty Satin Kajals, and I'm using the green one. This one is actually more the same color as the outer placed shade, but I thought that might look cooler with, since I'm wearing it underneath. This is a beautiful color. I do have the sequin liner, the greenish leaning one. Not sure what that one is called. See if I can find it. This one. That would also look obviously very, very nice, but I thought that the olive one is a bit cool to pick up the other greenish grey. This one is called Sequin Green. So these are the two greens that I have. Sequin Green is actually one of my favorite ones. I love that one. And as I've shown you before, you can use the Victoria Beckham liners. You can use them, smudge them all over and just smudge it around, and then you literally have a very, very fast smoky eye. I'm just gonna pull out the liner a little bit from my waterline. And there we go. I am then going to be boring and use the same mascara that I've been using for forever. This is the Estee Lauder Sumptuous Extreme. This is a travel size, so that's why it's so small. I do have a full size lying here somewhere, but I am trying to finish this one because the smaller sizes tend to dry up rather quickly. And I started using this one. I am starting all my travels shortly. I'm going to Maastricht, to Holland and Amsterdam, and then I am just home for 2 days, and then I'll be off to Spain, and we have a kick-off with work, so the whole company is going to Spain, and then I am actually staying another 2 weeks over Easter. So I am gonna try and film, but I won't be filming as consistently because I'm not wearing that much makeup on my vacations. So I am gonna try and film a little bit for you, but oh my god, I'm making such a mess. Sorry guys. This is looking atrocious. I have like mascara smudges everywhere. I am going to fix it. I'm just going to let the mascara dry. And now I have an incredibly unhappy cat on the other side of my door. So when I'm in Spain, I'm not going to be able to film that much. That's all I'm saying. When I'm traveling for work, normally I do my makeup every morning, so it takes me like an extra 2 minutes to just put up the camera. So that is fine. I'm obviously not going to be able to have all the lighting and stuff. I'm just going to have my portable little lights. I'm sure the lighting will be a bit so and so, but I am going to try and film. And I'm also going to show you what I am bringing with me on all my travels, because that varies, of course. It depends on how long I will be away for and things like that. The longest longest work trip I have during the year is in September. Then I'm going first to London and then up to a place called Loughborough, where we have a huge valuation. It's a valuation conference that I go to every year, and then straight from Loughborough I'm going down to London and flying off to Hong Kong, and then I'm in Hong Kong for a week. So I'm away for a good week and a half at least. And just before that, I'm actually going to Italy. So it is my fall is going to be rather special. I am going to use this one. This is the Love Cheek Duo. I think it was a limited edition thing for Valentine's Day. This is a cream, this is not. That's just a highlighter, but I haven't used this in a while. I think it might be a bit too bright for me, but we'll try. I'm not wearing my headband to work. I am going to remove that one. It's just easier to get all my flyaways to get off my face. Especially my hair is breaking a bit. I think it has something to do with my hormones / losing weight / I don't know. Coloring my hair probably doesn't help. But it's fine. It is what it is. I am taking a lot of vitamins to prevent it, but I'm not sure if it's doing anything. I think it's just one of those things that happen. I'm going into the same highlighter. I haven't used this highlighter. It's quite dark, so I am going to use it a little bit more as a blush topper, because to me this is not really light enough. So I am putting it a little bit lower than I normally would. There we go. That is the look for today. I will be using the new, I think it's new, Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Wherever Walnut as a liner. This is a beautiful liner. I like that it's a true neutral, because lip liners are the worst on me. Everything turns yellow. But this one really doesn't. It's quite neutral. I'm then going to use the Linda Hallberg shiny lip thing. This one is in the color Carefree, and it's called the Fantastic or Fantastic. I really enjoy these, and if you follow Linda Hallberg, you'll see that she uses these as blushes. She uses them, all of her stuff you can use all over the face, which I find really cool and nice. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put some under eye powder, just in my T-zone, because I do rub stuff. Oh, I have to do my brows. Sorry, forgot about that. Almost walked off without doing my brows. So the absolute last thing, my Depend True and Trusted Friend Twin Thin in Taupe. And I am drawing back some brows. And my cat is so sad. She's standing, I've closed the door, because otherwise she would be in here screaming instead. Because she doesn't want the attention on anybody else apart from her. And she is an incredibly talkative cat. Both my cats are talkative, but the baby is actually much more talkative than the mother, which is fun because the mother is a Bengal. And as you know, they are a bit crazy, and she is just hilarious. She is a handful. It's not for the faint-hearted ones, that's for sure. She's very opinionated. She walks around with you. She's very curious. She wants to stand beside you and see what you're doing. So she's a little bit like a dog, I would say. I am also going to put some Got To Be in my brows to make them stay where they are. I don't do that every day. I don't have really big bushy brows, as you know, but they do tend to stick a little bit better when I put this on. Stay a little bit more groomed looking. So there we go. That is the final look for today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.